Hey guys, Clove here, and I'm back today with kind of a little video about kind of like an idea slash concept that I'm going to be using in a new map. Not necessarily to go over all the functions and like things that you see that I'm going to be showing you here, but it's just a simple concept that I'll be showing you. That's pretty cool. So as you notice, when I get close to this button, it's going to show up with this name tag, which is really easy to see and really obvious. It's green, got some text symbols, pretty obvious that it's there. And when I click it, what's going to happen is, as you would expect, oh, and I broke it. Sorry, I broke that. It's going to call the elevator down here, and boop, here's the elevator. When you walk in, it looks like a normal elevator, but when you get close, it's going to reveal that these are actually buttons that takes you to the floors. So I'm going to select to go to floor 2. It's going to shut, and it's going to start moving me up. Now, we're not going to go over how I did this cool elevator thing, which actually works really, really well. As you can see, when I go, if I went up to, oh, and here's another call elevator button, doesn't do anything on this floor. If I went back up to like floor 4, it would call the elevator up. If I went, instead of going down, it would actually move it upwards. And if I go in here and select a higher number, it would go up to whatever number it is. It doesn't have to go in order. I can go to 4, and we can skip it, which this will give me some time. Oh, yeah, there we go. This will give me some time to kind of talk about what's going on as we get up there. So anyways, this is a part of Quantum Labs 2, and the player will most definitely be using this elevator at least one time, or they can always take the stairs. So I decided to make this type of elevator only because it's less laggy and doesn't have as many problems. And there's actually not too many commands with it, but it's kind of nice to see how that disappears. Now, if I go into this room here, this is just a normal bedroom, but when I go up to these curtains, there's a little arrow here, which kind of cues that you can do something here. So I'm going to right-click it, and oh, I know what happened, but it kind of screwed up because just because this is I didn't prompt them. So let me go back down to floor 2 real quick for you guys. Sorry about that. I didn't, because you have to do specific things in the code to make the curtains work without screwing up like that. So we'll just go here, and we'll use this one. See, this one opens and closes correctly. The other ones I have to do like a quick scoreboard setup, but anyway, so this just opens and closes curtains. And I think it's really cool to have like this little the little thing to kind of prompt the players that they can do something here, and where to click, and then it goes away. So we're going to be going over that little concept of showing that you can do something at a certain place, and having these right-click interactions with objects that you normally shouldn't be able to right-click, but you can, and kind of displaying what's going on there. So we're going to do it on a single-player world that's different. So what you're going to need is a couple things. First off, you're going to need MC Stacker. So we're going to go into the web browser and pull up MC Stacker as soon as my computer calms down and stops freaking out. Okay, so we made it to MC Stacker. Took a little bit to load. This is mcstacker.bimbimma.com. If you don't know it already, you should definitely have this bookmarked or something, or just memorized. It's a really good website for generating entities because it can be a little annoying to generate entities. Anyway, so we're going to need a couple entities. The main one we're going to need is armor stands. We're going to need an armor stand, and then we're going to want to go here and search like text symbols. And then if we let that page load, the Google page, it's just a little bit laggy right now because of the thing. Okay, so we're going to go to whatever, textsymbols.com. And we can find some cool symbols that can represent certain things. So I'm going to give you an example, and you can kind of do whatever you want with this and give you kind of the general commands. In the description, you only need really 2. But let's see if the phone works. So some of these text symbols don't show up correctly in Minecraft. I guess that works, but it's really weird and tiny. Let's try and find one that looks a little better. Maybe, maybe, let's use this check symbol. Okay, that I know the check symbol works. So we're going to take the check symbol. We're going to go to armor stand, and we're just gonna make its name a check symbol. It doesn't have to be a text symbol. It can say like press for a gun or something like that. I don't know. But the tags we're going to give it are specific. So we're going to want to give it a tag for whatever this is doing. What we're going to do is we're going to make this power a redstone lamp when you right click on it. So we'll do power, and we're also going to put a comma and make this tag have another tag called clickable. I like to do the tag clickable. You can do whatever specific tag you want here, but I prefer clickable because it means it's something that's clickable. Then we're going to make this no gravity, invulnerable, marker, and invisible. We're going to copy this, and paste into there. So we're just going to keep that there. Now, to get the color, we're going to create a scoreboard team. You can also use the special Minecraft generators that generate colored text, but some of them don't work in 1.12, so I'm just going to do it this way. So scoreboard teams add green, and this will be useful for later, so I would do this one as well. Scoreboard teams add green, so we're going to add a color of green. Scoreboard teams options, green, we're going to give it the color of green. We're also, for a later thing, we're going to give it collision rule to have never on it, so players don't collide. And in here, we're just going to add an extra thing, team green. There we go. Okay, so this is going to add summon an armor stand that has a tag of power and has a team of green. So we do that, and we have a little check mark here, and now we can create a put a redstone lamp there, and now we can do TP at E tag equals power. Let's see what direction this is. I think that's positive on the X. So let's move it a little bit closer to the actual thing itself, so that it's more inside of it, and maybe down one. -0.1, -0.1, -0.1. Okay, and let's just put it right in the center. Okay, so we're just gonna say that denotes that they need to power it. Okay, so /kill at E tag equals power C equals 1. Okay, so this command will be in the description for you to copy and paste and use and change the tags if you want and change the text symbol and whatnot. So you can mess around with that. So here we have this little thing. So to do something like the curtains, now this is going to be really specific. So I'm going to use commands, but I suggest you use functions. That's what I used. But command blocks are a lot easier for me to show you what's going on with each individual command. So in the command, it's basically the same thing, because if you were to create a function and then you do game rule game loop function, which makes the same function play over and over, you're just going to need commands in there. They can't do any of this. There's nothing special about the game loop function. Your special function that you're looping is almost like a whole chain of command blocks. Like, it's not special like a separate function, so you don't have to think anything about that. But what we're going to do is we need one more thing. So we're going to need to add a scoreboard since we're doing this mode. Since we're doing one where you right-click it instead of a button, we're going to have a separate scoreboard. I'm going to call it action, and it'll be stat.talk to villager. Then we're going to go into here and give ourselves a villager. Call him power click. So this is just detecting the power click. We're going to make him silent, no AI, no gravity, which I think is just the same thing. Give it generic status and make it invulnerable. Status effects, give it invisibility 1, amp duration 1,000,000 seconds, hide the particles, team of green. Okay, this will also be in the description as well, and I'll put him up here, and we'll make it -1. There'll just be a paste bin link. Okay. Oh, let me just place this here so that I still have it. Game mode 3. Okay, so you can move this guy. TP at E tag equals power click. For this purpose, I'm gonna move it into the block, so only like his head is there, so it's in the right spot. Now, also keep in mind that if you're doing, you're gonna have to be careful. Don't do too many of these villager things too close to each other. Otherwise, they'll activate each other and stuff like that. So don't do them too close to each other. If you're doing the villager one. Now, alternatively, you can also do a button, but I'll show you how to do that. So now we're gonna do execute at a score_action_min equals 1. So this is if they click on a villager, and then we're going to execute at E tag equals power. So we're executing at the armor stand, and a radius of 3 or 4. Let's just do 3 or 4. And then now we can do all the other commands that happen after it. Okay. The reason why I prefer functions is because if we're doing it with command blocks, we're gonna need this in the beginning of everything, which is fine. But with functions, you would just play a function and then delete the beginning. Anyway, so we're executing at that armor stand, and what we're gonna do is we're going to set block, and we'll go up 1 and back 1 to redstone_block. Okay, this is just a simple concept. This is just going to do. This is going to do, if I click it, it'll set it to a redstone block. Okay, that's just simple. But the cool part where it has it come and disappear is going to be a separate set of commands. These are the ones that'll be in the description. We're going to do execute at A, then do entity data at E, tag equals clickable, radius equals 4, custom name visible 1. So if you're within 4 blocks it's of a clickable, it'll give it a custom name visible of 1. Then if you're at least 5 blocks away, or at most 7 blocks away, so between 5 and 7 blocks away of radius, it'll set it back to 0. So if we power this, check this out. So it's not there. When I get within 4, I can see it, and when I get outside that range, it's back to nothing. See it? Nothing. See it? Nothing. That's the cool part. So I think it's just, I like to change it to actually to 3. I think what I did was 3, 4 to 6, okay? So I really like that because it's nice. So the player doesn't see it. It's not messy with a bunch of armor stands with their names everywhere. It only displays them when you get close, which I'm sure you might have seen before. I just thought it was really cool, and I wanted to show it to you guys today just as like a short little tutorial. Bigger ones later. I'll go through the rest of this, how to do this, the toggling thing, like the curtains, where it basically toggles on and off. What you're going to need is another scoreboard. So scoreboard objectives add power. That's how you toggle it. You're going to need a dummy scoreboard. So we're going to instead do, we're going to add, okay, so when the player clicks it, players add, it's going to add the armor stand's power score of 1. It's going to add 1 to the power score, and it is going to set the power score back to 0 if their power score is at least 2. So it's basically just going to switch between 1 and 0, and then it's also if their hold on, if their power score is executing at the armor stand, if their power score is equal to 0, then it is going to set the block to be air, and if their power score is at least 1, it's going to set it to at least set it to the redstone block. Now the last thing we need is it's going to do this scoreboard. It's going to reset the scoreboard. So scoreboard player set at A, radius equals 4, action 0. So anybody within a 4 block radius will have their action reset. So here we go. Right click. Oh, I need to change this to get rid of it doesn't have the specification. So just anytime that a player right clicks within the radius of the power, it'll set their score back to 0. So off, on, off, on, off, on. That's just an example of how you can do it. I prefer using functions because then it doesn't look all messy like this. It's literally just 1, which is testing for, it's executing at the player, and that has at least 1 on their action score, and then it is playing a function at the armor stand, and then the function has all these other 5 commands that I put in here, these 5 commands, but just in a function file, and they start like right here, so it only has this part. So that's really neat. So it's not as complicated, so you don't have the executes before it. But that's just what's nice about functions. Anyway, so it goes away, comes back, goes away, comes back. I just thought that was really neat. If you guys have an adventure map where you want to have things that players can click on that maybe the player doesn't know that they can actually click on it, instead of putting signs that tell them to click on it, you can put armor stands that when they get close, it displays the name. When they get far, it's gone. So it's kind of like a neat display for information. So these 2 commands will be in the description. You play this one and this one really fast, whether it's on a game loop function or it's on command blocks. This is to summon a villager that you can click on inside here. It doesn't really need to have a specific tag or anything. I just do it so I can move them around. And then this is to spawn the armor stand that everything happens according to where the armor stand is. Yeah, so that's pretty much all there is to this one. I'm not going to show you how I did the elevator because that's a lot more complicated and involves things a lot more complicated than just these nearby armor stands. I hope this video wasn't too long and me explaining too many things for you guys. I'm working on Quantum Labs 2, as you can tell from this video. I'm trying to add a lot of cool little details to it, and I've gotten a lot of new builds in it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.